Well, welcome to Red Hot Marriage. And today we have an incredible episode that we're filming that we're going to cover an old phrase that at the surface, it sounds like it's like, wow, this is money, right? For marriage. But when you look deeper, man, you get into some dark places
I
with that. And it's
know.
existed forever.
Forever.
You probably heard it around Christian circles. You probably heard it around your house.
That's right.
You probably said it to your wife.
Yep.
I mean, it's all over the place. So today we're going to break it down and we're going to find out what are the dark sides to that and what is the good way to see that.
But first, let's address the obvious. We kind of changed things up a little bit. We have been in our studio recording, and it feels sterile because everything is white.
Derek said it feels like a hospital in there.
It does feel like a hospital.
We don't want to be.
So we're like, let's just bring it down, bring it downstairs. Let's do this in our living room where we normally even have conversations anyway already. So
for sure,
that's the update. That's the change. But yeah, before we begin, let's start with a little fun something. Okay?
Let's see.
Okay.
What is it?
Okay. So
you always get me nervous when you.
It's fun. It's going to be fun.
I always say it. You get me nervous every time.
You know the answer to this one. Okay. So what is the one place that I love going, but you absolutely hate?
The mall, stores.
Going? Stores, the mall, shopping, anything to do with going out
Grocery
there.
stores.
Okay. For me, the one place that I hate going, but I will go with you because I love you, is the gun range. I
hardly go to the gun range.
I know, or golf. I don't like golf.
I hardly go golfing.
Oh my gosh. Really? Really? We're gonna do this right now? Anyway, fine. I don't like going golfing and I don't like going to the gun range.
Yeah.
But I will do it. I will do it because I love you. That's why I will do it. So moving on from that terrible question. Jeez. Okay. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, today we're going to be talking about that saying that is so common, but it carries so much things that are not true within that phrase. And that phrase is happy wife, happy life.
True.
Well, there's a new one today. What is the new one?
Something about spouse.
Happy spouse.
Happy house.
Happy house.
That's more modern.
That's more modern.
And more, appropriate, right, for the times.
But still, it carries the same kind of. In other words, whenever you say that, you're saying that if your wife is happy, then everything is happy.
Or your spouse, or your husband.
Or your husband, yeah. But normally it's related to the wife.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. And okay, at the surface, that sounds like, wow, yes, your wife needs to always be happy, and your whole life is going to be happy. And that is not true. That is not true.
But is it? No, it's not. It's not. But this actually came up in the 50s and 60s. This is when that phrase started circulating. That it was in print. People started promoting it when commercials like, hey, if she's happy, you'll be happy. So here all these men go and buy the latest appliance because that makes women really, really
the best
happy.
Iron with the
best
iron board.
blender. Exactly. No, it was all promotional and it was all advertisement. It was all about the money, right? And we then adopted this as something that became part of our culture, that, hey, happy wife, happy life. And all of a sudden we have this situation where men are being told this constantly, that as long as she's happy, bro, you're going to be okay. Yeah. And that's a lie.
That's a lie. Well, and the other part to that is that men believe that that's like an equation, right?
Right.
An equation that says, if your wife is happy, that means that you're doing a good job.
Oh.
Yeah. And so you misinterpret what's happening in your marriage because you're believing this, that if your wife is happy on the surface, that you're saying, man, I'm killing it as a husband. And that might not be so.
Yeah, I think that this phrase also has made men become quiet in their homes and not share what is going on really beneath the surface. Because as long as she's happy...
Say more about that.
Yeah, as long as she's happy, it's like, oh, well, then I don't have to do my part. I don't have to own what is mine to own. I'm just going to make her happy. I'm just going to make her happy, right? And we have men that no longer speak up, no longer share really what is going on because they just don't want to disturb the peace in their home.
Right.
And that is a bunch of BS.
Yeah.
Because when men don't show up, it shows in the household. And we have now a crisis in marriages where men have become complacent. They've become quiet about their needs too. Because as long as my wife is happy, then we're okay.
It goes back to that lie.
It does. It goes back to that lie.
And it's so poisonous to the, and I think also that statement makes men go back to that performance mentality. True. Man, I'm hitting that goal. My wife is always happy. She's getting what she wants.
Yeah.
And that in itself is, you're checking a box for you. Like, man, right? Like we're looking again, back to me, like what I need to check this box, even though it's a lie, because you don't even know.
Right.
You're just trying to hit a target. Yeah. Your wife is smiling around the house. She's doing things, because she wanted something. You said, okay, yeah, let's go get it. Let's make space in our budget. Let's go get it. But you never addressed the really how you felt about going forward with that. So you're not satisfied.
Right.
You're pretending.
Yeah, you're lying.
You're lying. You're being dishonest about it.
You are.
Wow, we didn't know we could find so much treasure in this little saying, right?
No, but you are. You're being deceitful. You're lying, and at the same time, you have that kind of like feeling that you're not being heard because you're not really voicing what it is that you really think, because we're trying to keep the peace. We're trying to not ruffle any feathers, not do anything like that, but it's deception. Yeah. It's deception at its core.
Could this be also a way for us to put the statement and put it in a category where we don't touch, as long as we say the statement, we pretend that everything's okay, and we don't have to touch subjects that we really need to talk about.
Say it again.
Right? Yeah. Like if we keep on repeating this and believing this around the house, that means then that I don't have to address why we feel disconnected.
Oh,
right? Because
that part
at the surface, you feel happy. Our house is happy, supposedly, because you're happy wife, happy life. I mean, that's what people are saying. That's what you're believing. But in reality, is that true?
Yeah.
Like, so are you asking the right questions to see if that's really the matter? I'll tell you the real question that you can ask. You can sit down with your wife and ask her, look at her in the eye, grab her hand, and say, honey, how am I doing as a husband? That's a real question. And then you just be quiet. That'll tell you really a true measure of how you're doing. And she'll be honest with you, as long as you let her.
Right.
That's another part.
That's
right?
true.
And now you're going past that, believing that happy wife, happy life is all good, but you're going past that and really addressing the core issue in your wife's heart.
Yeah, but I think that we find a lot that in couples, the men will not step into that space of honesty because they want to avoid a fight. Yeah. They want to, and it's also self-protection, because they then would have to expose their heart, expose really the weakness, the things that they've been experiencing and feeling in the relationship. And I was thinking back on this because I remember one of the times that we were driving somewhere, and we were talking, we were listening to this show on the radio, and they were talking about like how the guy was saying, like, my wife is like my cheerleader. She's always cheering me on, and, blah, 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 right? Going on and on about his wife. And then I was like, I know I'm like that for Erik, for sure. And then I asked you, babe, am I your cheerleader? And then you just said, no, you are not. Like, you criticize me, you question my ability to lead, and you just started unpacking all that. Mind you, I'm living in Wonderland thinking like over 15 years of our life, I have been amazing, but you had never, ever voiced what really was going on inside of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how unfair is that? Because whenever you mess up, whenever I'm telling you like, hey, that was not okay.
Right.
But you had been holding that resentment when I had no idea of what was even going on. So that is such an unfair way to treat your spouse, of not sharing what is really going on beneath the surface, and then expecting yet for this person to show up and be a cheerleader to you.
Yeah.
Well, gosh darn it. That's not going to happen.
And that's like the misconception with that equation: happy wife, happy life, right?
And you did that. For many years you did that. Yeah.
Because even if you see your wife is happy, you might not be happy.
Right.
But you just don't share it. You're making her happy, but you're not being honest.
Yeah.
Now you're being not only dishonest, but you're holding bitterness little by little. That
resentment,
that root of bitterness is growing deeper and deeper, and so the equation is imbalanced. And I'll tell you that even when you at times were happy, right? There was a sense of dissatisfaction because there was no friction between us. Like there was no like my thought process, my opinion behind what the things that were maybe making you happy, that were supposed to have a happy life, but I was not having an opinion and input in that.
By choice.
Right. But what I'm saying is that in essence, you get disconnected from what supposedly is going to make you happy, but it'll make you happy in the short term. But in the long term, you're gonna be saying, "Well, he gives me everything that I want, but I don't get none of his heart. He's not even questioning this. He's not asking me what of this makes me happy." So really, is that equation right? Is it something that you can really hang your hat on for years? That happy wife is a happy life? I don't think so.
And it's deception. At its core, it's deception, because we don't want to address what is hurting, what is really bothering us. And that doesn't build intimacy. On the contrary, it builds really resistance to even deeper connection.
Right.
You know, and now we know that so much of this, of course, comes from upbringing, comes from family of origin, comes from the way that you were shown love as a child, and some of the ways that you believe love should be shown.
Yeah.
But a lot of it also comes from false teachings and beliefs like this, that happy wife, happy life. It doesn't work that way. When you have a person in the relationship that is silenced, then how can the other person be happy about it?
Right. Yeah.
Can't.
And this also this statement, this phrase can be used by men to also and you talked about this at the beginning, but to not have to disclose how they feel about not only what the choice that is going to make you happy, but also other things in their heart. That by saying this over and over, they're making you happy and performing, but at the same time, they're not getting there to open their heart. Because they're making you happy. Our hearts are going to continue to be closed.
Yeah.
And you know that equation is false. It's like a false thing. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to make your wife happy. Absolutely make her happy. Absolutely, do the things but learn what makes her happy, right? Learn how she derives love from you. What is the things that are special to her, and then make her happy. But just for you to do it, just to disregard yourself and to not share what's happening, what you feel, to be disconnected and kind of just perform.
Well, it's passive, being a passive male.
It's very passive.
And being passive men, many times that is also attached to deception. When we have passive men, and we've seen passive men, it's like, I rather not bring it up because there's other stuff that I'm hiding. And I don't want for her to get to know this part, the dark side of me. So I'm just going to let her be happy, and I'm going to let it. And this was part of our story too, that, hey, as long as she doesn't get too close, because if she starts seeing closer into what I'm really doing, right, then she's going to know. So I'm going to keep this boundary around my heart where, okay, yeah, I'm just going to keep you happy. It's all self-protection. And that's what we have to understand, that by you doing that and appeasing your wife, it's self-protection. We have to break free from that if we really want to have an intimate relationship with the person that God has given us. Honest, open, transparent relationships do not thrive in environments where there's deception.
Yeah. And if you want to continue to build a red hot marriage, it's going to start with breaking down those mental structures, beliefs that we've grown up with, and completely restructure them, reform them to a new way of thinking, a new way of the heart, a new way of connecting.
So let's give some tools, practical tools in this. Like, what could we do to make our voice be known to our spouse that, hey, this didn't fly? I've been thinking right now as we're talking about one of our pastor friends, and I was talking to him, and he was sharing of how there's a lot of things that he does around the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's incredible, like an incredible cook. He's amazing at what he does. But his wife is really not one to say like, hey babe, thank you. Thank you for cooking. Thank you for cleaning up the kitchen. Thank you for all these different things. And there is, I could see like a root of resentment in him. And I asked him, why don't you address this with her? Like, why don't you just tell her?
For sure.
And he said, no, that'll just start a fight. Like, I don't want, like, I'm going to count my losses. And I'm like, you're not really counting your losses because you're keeping all of that. You're carrying all of that.
Yeah.
This is a resentment that is in there. She may not know because, she thinks that you're okay, but that's unfair to her. That's unfair to her. Yeah. You have to tell her like how you're really feeling. And I find that it's so difficult for men to really voice this to their spouse because of fear of rejection, fear of consequences.
I don't think that's exactly all correct. I think that it's more of us not wanting to feel weak, communicating things that for us is kind of like it's an emotional conversation. So instead of addressing it, we don't think it's a big deal, so we just move past it. But it is a big deal. It is a big deal
because if it's coming out in a conversation where you're feeling that, my word, the one that should know that is your spouse.
Absolutely. But I think that most men are not aware and they don't care to dig deeper into that.
Yeah,
and they just rather just push it aside and keep moving.
I agree to disagree.
That's okay.
Because
that's perfect,
I think that what it is too is that they don't want to.
We'll let everyone listening to this comment and see how you feel.
Yeah,
I think that's a great point.
I think it is. It's a point of a conversation for sure, because this is something that I think men just don't want to step into that area of discomfort between your spouse and have those conversations that you may lose at the very end, because if she becomes upset, then the consequence is going to be cold shoulder, you name it.
It might be it's not happy wife, happy life no more.
No, it may, exactly. So you're like, no, I'm gonna just forget it.
So that's another part. So if she's happy, a man rather just say,
fine,
I'm fine, I'll watch this, I'll do whatever, and not address that. She's happy life. That's good, right? But the correct thing is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Is to address it.
It is.
But I think it's also part of us.
Emotional growth.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Emotional growth and us feeling comfortable expressing those things and learning how to express them. Mm-hmm. Because most guys, we just continue pushing forward. Mm-hmm. And even though eventually.
But there is a root of resentment growing.
Yes.
And the thing is, we're going to circle back to this because this is a hill I will die on, okay? The reality is that you're being deceitful because the wife is thinking, oh my gosh, he's so amazing. He does all these things. But inside, you're keeping score. Well, I did this, and I did this, I did this. She has no idea.
Yeah.
She has no freaking idea that you're keeping score. And I relate to this story so much because for years we saw this play out in our marriage. I had no idea that you had a silent scoreboard for our relationship at all. And that is something that you can't be living in intimacy with someone where you're supposed to be honest, fully transparent, fully naked and unashamed, right? When there's these things and these scorecards that you're keeping to protect yourself. Not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part of building a red hot marriage.
Yeah.
Learning how to cross that threshold and be able to communicate about those things.
Yeah.
Because we live in our own world, like women have their own frameworks, the way they think about things, and we as men do as well.
True.
So how do you bridge the gap? Is you have to be aware. You have to learn how to communicate those things to make it work. So it's not any longer happy wife, happy life, but now is, hey, we're in partnership. I love you.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to grow with you and continue to love you more. So because of that, I want to tell you things, even if they hurt you and you've hurt me at the same time, I want to communicate those things. And we get to work.
And I'll tell you something, when men do that, we respect them.
That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. I've learned that the moment that I've shared things with you that are hard for me to say and hard for you to receive, it's crazy, because for me it would be like no, I don't want to hear this. But when I say them, you receive them with your heart becomes
so
more
let's
connected.
talk to the women here. I love what you just said. We are needing that from our husbands.
Yeah.
We don't need for you to coddle us.
Right.
And to tell us honey, you're so fragile and, we could break. No, we can take it. We've had children, okay? Without drugs, might I add. That's me. But anyway, we want to hear it as it is.
Yeah.
We don't want for you to sugarcoat stuff. Like, we're not children. You're not married to a child. And I think that when men do that, you are absolving yourself from the responsibility that you have as a leader to say it like it is, to lead your family.
Yeah.
And you just sound like, oh, well, I'm going to just keep the peace and do that. We don't respect men like that. I can tell you that for every woman, we don't respect it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's weak. He doesn't even tell me. And this is how I'm speaking directly to the wives. We want a man that will stand by our side and that he has our back, but man, he also speaks truth into our life, and that he tells us no, and that he tells us and leads our family well. And men that normally say like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to keep my wife happy. They're not leading anybody. They're not even leading themselves.
No.
So we can't be deceived.
It's like personal integrity and being honest. And honesty is not weakness. I think that sometimes like those things that for women are so easy to communicate, because you communicate freely, more the emotional language behind it. But I think for us, for men, some of those things are hard to communicate because our mind has a barrier of us communicating something like that is ingrained in our DNA.
Right.
That we're weak.
Right.
But that is not weakness. That's being an honest man. And if you're an honest man, that's a character trait that you take in your life, in your marriage, every part of life that you do. So being honest is all it is. You're being stronger. You're being a man of character, and you're sharing your heart. And even though it feels uncomfortable, and that is what your wife is looking for.
She is. And I remember when you started being honest with me and sharing really what was going on beneath the surface, and really saying even no to some things. Say like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't feel like doing that. Or what? I was like, wow, thank you. Erik finally showed up. Like, this is really you. I kid around with you. I'm like, I like the jerk Erik. I like him.
But I'm not a jerk.
No. I like the feisty Erik. I like the one that is like, that commands, I like him. And he had been missing for so long, trying to make me happy, and that was not happening.
So I think the verdict is out on that saying, happy wife, happy life.
Nope.
I mean, what do you think? Does it work? Does it not work? Is it true?
I would say maybe happy spouses, happy house. But it requires both. It requires both, and it's the give and take, and it is the bringing things to the surface that feel hard, because that ultimately is what builds intimacy, that builds a closeness, and that also kills any kind of resentment. I think that is really the word for today is like, go and start building something that is honest
Yeah.
and open with your wife.
I think that alignment of honesty.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the
That
word
is-
for today.
That is so
Pivotal.
The word skips me, but that alignment of honesty
Mm-hmm.
is something that is so unique when couples are honest with each other. Happiness is something that is easier to achieve because you're walking together.
Well, it's a byproduct of honesty.
That's right.
That's what it is.
right.
And when we are able to be honest with the person that we love, the person that we have vowed our life to love and to serve and to live with, you do create a marriage that is resilient, a marriage that is stronger. But
Wow,
this is
yeah,
the part of also
yeah.
becoming humble before each
Humility.
other. The humility, we have to walk in humility because I know that there's many wives that want this desperately in their husbands to really know what's going on in them, really get to know them at that level of intimate connection. And they say things to him because they want to see him improve. But when the husband maybe receives that, it's like aggressive for them. They hear it through the lens of like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm failing.
Yeah.
It's all about him, but she's really fighting for connection with him.
Yeah.
And he's self-preserving of like, well, I don't want for her
And
to
he
see
goes
that.
back, like when he feels that, he's like, man, she's not happy.
Right.
So life is not good. You
Exactly.
know?
So-
He goes back to failure, like, performance failure. She's not happy. I'm doing real bad. No,
No, you're
step
not.
into it. Ask her more questions about that.
Exactly. Get curious.
It's going to feel bad, but ask her more questions. Stay in there. Stay in the moment.
That's right.
Tell her that it feels bad and continue to ask her questions.
Exactly. So that's a good tool to say like, hey, this is really uncomfortable for me. And I know that like, it makes me feel weak. It makes me feel small. It makes me feel like I'm I'm
Right.
failing, right?
Yeah.
In this thing, right? And what she's likely going to say is like, honey, you're not failing.
Yeah.
Like we're really just having a conversation,
Right.
right? Because that's really her heart, that she wants to connect with you deeper,
Yeah.
but she cannot connect with you if you are trying to just make her happy.
Right.
She can't.
And whenever you do have those conversations,
Yeah.
they're gonna feel uncomfortable, and at some points they're gonna suck because you're not comfortable with it. But at the end of that conversation, guess what? She is gonna be real happy.
She is.
It's gonna be real happy.
Genuinely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And feel deeply connected
Absolutely.
to you.
So I love that because that's advice for the men, for the ladies. When your husband is trying to tell you something, can you just quiet down? Can you just listen? Can you listen with the intention of hearing his heart rather than being ready to, shoot back and answer? Just listen to him, because what shuts men down is when they feel that they are being attacked. It shuts them down, or it ignites them. It's one or the other. It's like two different polar opposite ends, right? And as wives, we have the distinct ability to sit with people and hear with our heart. So the assignment for you is to hear your husband with your heart, is to help him really express those things, give language to what he's feeling emotionally, and give him space so that he can be able to do that. Because once you do that, I think too that there creates a safety in him, like, oh, I went to her and she didn't kill me, and she
Right,
and I
right.
lived through this, whatever
Yeah.
it is that I just shared with her. And it opens in his heart to say like, I'm safe.
Yeah.
And when he feels safe too, then he's able to express more of what's going on. So ladies, keep your temper to yourself and just listen.
So here we go again, honey.
Yeah.
Happy life, happy wife, happy life.
Nope. Debunked.
No, not good. Not good. So, man, if you listen to this podcast, I think Diana shared incredible just truths.
You did too.
And I think that this is going to help you a lot. Really break, because I think that even though it's a basic saying, we take it in our marriage and we make it truth. So this is a time to debunk it, a time to break it down, and really build a red hot marriage.
That's right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's build
Let's
it.
continue
Building a red hot marriage. That's right.